We're nearing the end of 2025, and AI is doing pretty much everything. It can create content, make videos, blog posts, social media posts, get you traffic, and the whole 9 yards. So why aren't you making any money as an affiliate marketer? Today, that is the question we are answering. Instead of looking at affiliate marketing the old, outdated way that so many people do, we're going to talk about VAAM. This is super important for getting ahead in the age of AI. And I'm sure you've noticed AI has literally skyrocketed. Some people are saying that as much as 60 to 70% of all content, including video, is now generated 100% with AI, which means it's a lot harder to stand out unless you focus on this one thing. So friends, welcome to VAAM Affiliate Marketing, the wave of the future that's going to help you make money online. Come on, let's go to work. All right, everyone, welcome to the show. Today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about VAAM and how it has made me a lot of money. Now, before we get started, I want you to pay attention to the big disclaimer. As you guys know, affiliate marketing and any make money online type thing is a business. There is risk, there is reward, and right at the get-go, let's just get it out there and say that the vast majority of people trying to make money online make nothing. So we want to take everything we learn with a grain of salt and look at it in real-world ways. This is very important, and when we look at this, we can start to build a business. So looking at that disclaimer, understanding what the average person can expect, which is nothing, then we could go through and say, okay, how am I going to build my business? And that's what this is all about. We're going to talk about simple ways that affiliates can add value. If you haven't guessed it yet, the acronym, I think is how you say it, VAAM, is Value Added Affiliate Marketing. We're going to talk about how to add value so that we can go forward and actually get traffic. Now, I have found that adding value to whatever it is you're trying to promote is the fastest way to get traffic and the fastest way to get quality traffic that's actually going to convert and get you some sales. That is the goal, right? So looking at this here, we want to look at the power of simple value add tools. Now, when it comes to AI, this has leveled the playing field. If you guys don't know who I am, I've been doing affiliate marketing for over 25 years now, which is most of my life now. It is the biggest portion of my life. And I've learned a lot and I've seen a lot come and go. But one of the things that I saw in 2022 and 2023 was the addition of AI. And when I first learned about ChatGPT, I remember looking at it while everyone was writing poems with it and, coming up with funny stories and things like that. I was like, wait a minute, this thing knows how to code, so I could actually make codes and tools for my market. I did that and it worked extremely well and it grew my business like crazy. So what we're going to look at here is the simple value of adding tools to whatever we're doing. Well, comprehensive content strategies and blogs and posts and content and videos are good. We want to look at something that we can add. These quick little things that you can make with AI, which I'm gonna caveat this because we can make them quickly with AI, but we need to make them smart. We need to make them with something different than everyone else. If we're going to be making a mortgage calculator, we need to think about why ours is different and what is the value proposition that we are going to bring, rather than just, here's another mortgage calculator, I hope you like mine better than the other guys. We need to really go out there and understand how this is. And what we're going to do is we're going to get to something at the end. All of this is going to come together at the end of this training where I'm actually going to show you a step-by-step fast win strategy where you could go out there and get traffic fast. This is something that works based on the fact that we're making something of value for our market in a different way. One of the big pet peeves that I have online is that a lot of marketers talk about value, add value, add value. You hear it over and over and over again. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what that means. What does it mean to add value? Now, again, these are little quick wins that'll help build trust, capture leads, demonstrate expertise without requiring massive time investments. These can be very simple. Now, here's a little fact for you. According to a study by the Affiliate Marketing Association, affiliates who provide value-added resources see 3 to 5 times higher engagement rates than those who only post direct affiliate links. While everyone out there is trying trying to just post a link. You see them all the time. There's like groups on Facebook where they just throw links everywhere. That doesn't get that much engagement. What gets engagement is something thought out. The more you think about what you build, the less you have to actually spend time building it. Because if you think about the market and what they want and how you're going to help them, that is key. Now, let's talk about why simple value add tools matter. First, as we mentioned earlier, build trust and credibility with your audience, captures leads, and grows an email list. If you want to build an email list, this is the fastest way I have found. If you want to demonstrate expertise and show people you know what you're talking about, this works like crazy. You don't have to hard sell, you don't have to position. All you have to do is have a value-added tool. Studies have shown that these increase conversion rates by 50 to 200%, which is crazy. Think about this. If you're struggling with affiliate marketing, this is something you need to pay attention to. It's boring, it's mundane, it's a webinar that, it's just going through text. But once you understand this, it'll change the way you think about marketing. If you're wondering why no one engages with your post on Facebook, if you wonder why no one wants to watch your video, if you wonder why no one is engaging or reading your blog post, if you're wondering why things don't show up at the top of Google and you get no traffic, this is why. When Google goes out there and other places go out there and they say, we need content that the audience likes, we are taught throughout all of our school years that good content is something well written. That's not the case, right? I'm not very well spoken. I'm not a great writer. I can't spell my way out of a paper bag, yet lots of people listen to what I have to say. Why? Because of this value proposition we're going to talk about. Now, one of the other things about adding these tools is they create immediate value. Immediate value. And what we're talking about is doing something different, making something better, making something smarter, making something faster. Very important. This is going to help you stand out in a crowded affiliate marketplace. Now, let's talk about the different types of value-added affiliate marketing you can do. First of all, we have lead magnets. What is a lead magnet? We hear this all the time. A lead magnet is basically something you are giving away. We'll try to make a gift here. There's the bow, right? Well, we'll write gift just because, that drawing ain't the best. So we'll just write gift there. What it is a giveaway that you are going to give to your audience in exchange for either their interest. Okay, that's one of the big things in marketing. You got to get their interest in exchange for maybe their info, to subscribe to your newsletter, maybe in exchange for them to click something, or whatever it is, you are going to give something in exchange. It's called a lead magnet or a list magnet. What you're going to do is you're going to create a free resource. Like Trevor says, he says, that's been my problem trying to create scholastic articles. We have to look at this and we have to understand exactly what's going on and whatever is happening here, right? You have to understand exactly what your market wants. It doesn't have anything to do with going out there and having a scholarly article. It doesn't have anything to do with the way that you write or the length of your article. It's something where I can give better value in 2 seconds if I know the market versus someone who has an encyclopedia who just is like an expert in whatever. If I know my market, that is key. This is where you're going to go through and make lead magnets and free resources based on what people want. This is super important. Now, when we go through, there are different types of free resources and lead magnets we can create. We can make digital reports and guides. This would be like a downloadable guide or something like that, or a digital report they can read, or a slideshow, or something like that. PDF reports are one of the most effective lead magnets. Still to this day, people love them. Now, here's the deal. We have been jaded. How many of you guys have heard in your marketing career about this thing called PLR? And they say, hey, you're going to get the rights to all these reports and all these cool things, and everyone's going to want them and be very, very happy. Only you find out like 1,000 other people are giving away the same things, and there's too many of them, which basically dilutes it, which makes them not valuable. What we want is something that only we can provide. This is something very important. What is it that we bring different? What is my guide going to do different? Like Ben says, he's heard of PLR. There's a ton of stuff out there. What we want to do is, can I use AI to change the PLR into what I want? Or can I use AI to help me write something in a different way? Can I offer something of value, like a checklist that people haven't thought about, a report, a calculator, a video, a quiz, something like that that's very important. And we're going to dive into these and talk about how they work and how we can use them. Now, one of the resource types you can do is like a industry report. Now, these are pretty easy, especially in the age of AI. You fire up Google Gemini Deep Research or Notebook LM, which now has a Discover feature. If you haven't used it, start using it. It's crazy. Now, when we go through and we look at industry reports, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say industry report plus something else, something unique, right? How does this relate to this? If I'm going out there and I'm looking at mortgages, can I say, how does this relate to the current trends in Florida housing? Interesting, okay, that makes it a little bit better. Now, an even better way would be, how does this equate to people that are 55 and over retiring into retirement communities and buying houses there? Is there something different and unique? The more fine-tuned your audience gets, this is why we talk about niche marketing, the easier it is to create this. Because if I'm just out there trying to make an industry report on loans, yeah, good luck with that. Who are you trying to get? Well, everyone who's interested in loans? Yeah, good luck with that. What I want to do is I want to make something very specific, and this is where AI shines. Because now I can be like, oh, this is for retirees in Florida who want a mortgage, who are over 55, and here's how it works. Starting to understand that is key. We can do an industry report like the top 10 unexplored affiliate marketing niches of 2025 or something like that. Or looking at the value proposition. This provides insider knowledge and opportunities. Implementation would be research trending topics, data, create a professional PDF. This is something that Manus can do. I used Manus to help me create these notes. It works really well. And notice how these notes aren't just, hey, tell me about free things you could give away and add value as an affiliate. No, these are things that were thought through. We ran it through several times. We looked at what we wanted, and I put my own unique spin on what I'm trying to do. This is why a lot of marketers tell you that it's best to go into a market that you know about. Why? Because it's going to be easier to find those different things that you can have. Like if you are a magician and you're like, oh, here's how to do magic tricks, you're going to be able to speak magicianese better than, the average person out there who's just trying to go into that market to make money. Now, that's not to say you can't do that. I've been in many markets that I don't know a lot about. I either, pay someone to teach me about it and write, or I get the data that I need a different way by gathering it and learning about the market. So there's several ways you can do it, but there is a little leg up on the competition you would have if you do understand your market. You can make buyer's guides, like a complete guide to choosing the right software. This saves time, provides expert recommendations. Now, pay attention to that value proposition. If you're making something, it needs to have a good, and I'm going to say unique, value proposition. What is different from yours? If I have a chili recipe cookbook, okay, what is the value proposition? Well, like 100 chili recipes. Okay, well, I don't even think I'm going to make chili 100 times in my life, so that's probably not the greatest value proposition. However, if I have something like you are going to be the hit of the next potluck or something like that, or how to make chili for vegans or whatever, that's your value proposition, and that's where it's going to be different. And you can take it and say, now that I have that differentiator, which is chili vegan, which is kind of like, okay, that's kind of weird because chili is usually not vegan, but you could go through and say, how would I make this for these people? How can I save them time? Provide expert recommendations, things like that. The implementation would be comparing products you promote, include pros, cons, pricing. A lot of people don't realize this, but there's very simple things that you can do. When we're dealing with an internet that's so big, there are people that are like, oh, hey, I need a certain pillow because I sleep this certain way. Okay, that can work. Starting to understand that is my value proposition. That's what I'm building. Now, looking at trend analysis, you can do like social media trends or something like that. The proposition here would be keeping your audience ahead of the curve. Analyze industry data, make predictions, cite resources. You can also do case studies. Now, one of the cool things that I learned is you can actually get case studies that are available. Obviously, make sure you have the rights to use them and everything like that. But there's examples that are done like on, I know CNBC does one, where CNBC has it's called Made It, and they have all these reports of people that have made money doing crazy different side hustles and things like that. And it's a very good value proposition because what they're doing is showing you case studies, and they are becoming the expert by association. Right? Like if I talk about all these people, it's much like back in the day, a lot of people love the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And Napoleon Hill is still to this day hailed as one of the best entrepreneur mind thinker people. However, what he did was just interview a bunch of rich people and figure out what made them tick. That's all he did. And he got by association of providing that info. So what was his value proposition? He went through and said, okay, I'm going to show you how to think like wealthy people. So I go to, this top entrepreneur, Henry Ford. I go to this guy, Rockefeller, and all these others, and I figure out what works for them. And then by association, now people are like, oh, well, if that guy knows what those people are talking about, he must also know what he's talking about. Therefore, you're building an audience that is liking what you have because you did something different. Now, even though this was done over, I think, almost over 100 years ago now, Think and Grow Rich, when you look at that model is still used today, and it still gets people a lot of traffic today. Think, okay, what are the most successful athletes? What is their morning routine? That's a variation of what the Think and Grow Rich book was about. And you start to think of this, and, let's face it, some of the stuff in that book is just straight weird. But at any rate, we're looking at the style rather than the actual book, and that's what made it a bestseller. When you think about this, it works extremely well. Think of some of the people who are very successful in religious groups, right? They take it and say, how does this adapt to this? There was, when I first got into becoming an alcoholic, when I became an alcoholic and got sober, there was this AA-style training that was put out by a popular pastor. And this pastor is like, he's got some money. The dude's loaded, right? And they came up with a 12-step kind of program, but for Bible stuff. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And you look at it and it's like, okay, now you have this differentiation. What made him different? Right? There's a ton of recovery programs out there. What made his different? Well, his were for people who like the Bible. Very simple. So looking at what you can adapt and how you can do this is very, very, very important. And this will change the way you do affiliate marketing. Here's another fact for you. According to HubSpot research, lead magnets with specific actionable titles like 5 templates for, the ultimate guide to, convert 30% better than generic titles. What does that mean? That means you're going to get better conversions to your mailing list, and people are actually going to pay attention if you post it on Facebook. Right now, Facebook and other places can't get enough of this type of stuff. Here are 5 AI prompts that help dentists get more clients. Here are 5 of these that help with this. Here are 6 websites you need to know if you want to make money. This kind of stuff makes you think different about your content. Most people are out there and they're thinking, oh, I just need articles and articles and articles. Lots of articles is what we need. This is not true. The internet doesn't need more content. It needs content that is going to make it easier for me. Think about it in your own life. When you go out there and you start to research something, do you want this gigantic dissertation? Well, sometimes, but probably only after you've seen little tidbits of what you want. This is very important because if you can break it up and think about how this is going to be different, that is where value is added. We need to understand our market more than we need to understand how to write, because it's about the person, not the text on paper. Now, another thing you can do, which is one of my favorite. This is the bare minimum, easiest way to go about it, in my opinion, to get traffic. Again, remember, results not typical, implied, or guaranteed. Even though a lot of this stuff does work well, you got to take it, there's work involved. You got to look at it. Most people make nothing. When we look at this one, though, this is one of my favorites because checklists and templates have a perceived value of, oh, this is going to save me time. If I have a template, boom, I could put my logo on it, and now I have this business card or whatever. If I have a checklist, like a car maintenance checklist, all right, we think about that, and we focus, and we say, okay, that can be value in and of itself. Now, what I did here is I put some screenshots of what people are searching for, because even though the search climate is changing, what people want does not change. So if you think about this, maybe you're out there and you're like, okay, I'm going to make a hospital bag checklist for expectant mothers, right? What do we take when we're having a baby at the hospital? All right? You have 15,000 people a month searching for that. All right? But is there more than that are like actually going to go and have a baby that day? Yeah, there is. There's more than 15,000 babies born every month. So there we could see that and say, okay, this checklist, if I was to get it in the right people, even people who aren't searching for it actively, well, then I can help them. How many of you guys, this is starting to make sense and you're like, oh, so instead of trying to get this blog post ranked about what you should take when you go to the doctor with the baby, right? Now you're going to go through and you're going to be like, oh, here's the hospital bag checklist for expectant mothers. And now that's something that when we create our giveaway or our value added affiliate marketing giveaway, what we're doing is we are circumventing the traffic process because now we have something that stands alone. I want you to remember this term, stands alone. Is your giveaway, content, article, checklist, spreadsheet, whatever, is it good enough to stand alone on its own where people will come get it and say, I like that? Could you go out there, let's say you went into a group of people who are, they're going through pregnancy stuff or whatever, and you're like, okay, I'm going to share this guide of what you should take. Would they like it? This is an ultimate test of what's going on. If you think, oh, I have the best make money online guide, but I just can't find anyone who wants it, well, then it's either not the best, or you don't believe it's the best, or you just don't know how to get traffic. 9 times out of 10, your guide is not good enough, right? Now, I also want to say something here that is value is in the eye of the beholder, okay? So whoever is looking at your content is who is going to determine what that value is. You could have the best evaluator of used car values ever. Maybe it's better than the Kelley Blue Book. But if you're giving it to people who are looking to buy new cars, they're not going to care about it. So we need to give it to the right person. Now, if you nail down the right audience, you don't need to be that good at giving value. All you need to do is find the value they need. Ergo, people think, oh, I'm going to go into, let's take another checklist one. I'm going to go into the car maintenance checklist. Okay, so you go out there and you're like, okay, well, I need to be an expert. I need a 150-page guide on car maintenance stuff. Okay, well, who is this? Who would look this up? Probably someone who just got a car, or maybe like a parent who bought someone a car, and they're like, here's the checklist, keep this on your dash. That way you know when the check engine light comes on, here's how you maintain it, or whatever it is. We need to understand why someone would come to your giveaway in the first part. Wedding planning checklist. Is that a wedding planner? Or is that someone looking to plan their own? Moving checklist. How far along in the process are they? Are they moving long distance or short distance? Very important that we look at this. Like, I'll bet you if we refine it even more, let me just pull this up over here and I'll show you what it looks like. If we were to refine this even more and say long distance moving checklist, you're going to see that now it gets isolated. So instead of going to the entire moving checklist, I would go to that segment. I would have something specific for long distance. And now I don't need 1,000 articles. I just need to promote my moving checklist. That's all I need to do. And then you build a list and you build the stuff. You make a video about it. Here's how the checklist works. By the way, if you want to get the checklist, here's where to get it. You go on Facebook. Hey, to all those people moving, I made this checklist that can help you. Hope you like it. Brand it with your stuff. Get your affiliate offers. That's how you do value-added affiliate marketing. So if we do long distance moving checklist, one, it's going to trigger a lot more expensive ads. So we could see that long distance moving checklist is 100 searches a month. Okay, now, again, we have to think about it. There's a lot of others. There's about 5,000 or 500 searches a month with all the terms. But you also need to think about how many of those people looking up moving checklist are actually doing long distance moving. Also, how many people are actually long distance moving? That's the real market. Not just the people searching, the people who are actually doing the moving. Very important. So when you start to understand, yes, these can actually work really, really well. Camping checklist, travel checklist, or if you're going for templates. And I want you to pay attention to this because this is showing you this is what your market wants. This is what they want. They love it. They eat it up. They can't get enough of it. When you look at this, we're seeing global search volume monthly is 12 million for the word templates. For the checklist one, 5 million. This is content people want. So instead of going out there and trying to make an information content or an information video, why not go to AI, make a really good long distance checklist, and then find people to give it to, help them out, and go from there. That's a good way to build this up. You can see with templates, same kind of thing. Could I go out there and make PowerPoint templates or resume templates or whatever? And starting to understand, okay, maybe I could do like a resume checklist. And you start to look at that and you're like, okay, let's do resume checklist. And now we're gonna see, okay, there's 250 searches a month for resume checklist. Pretty cool. And now you're starting to understand, hey, these are things that I can make that are direct value proposition. And even if it doesn't rank in Google tomorrow, we can get traffic other ways because we know that our resume template is good. The key is in making something very good that people are going to want. Something people are going to want to share, right? Like, oh, hey, check this out. I got this checklist for SEO. And they share it and stuff like that. Actionable checklists provide immediate practical value and are highly shareable. Popular checklist ideas could be like a 7-week action plan for boosting SEO, a complete affiliate marketing launch checklist, social media content calendar template. These are given away all the time. Some of them build giant media companies off of them, right, where they help other people with social media. Email marketing campaign setup checklist, website conversion optimization checklist. And these are the kind of things we can make with AI that will instantly make you better than a lot of your market, because a lot of your market is still stuck trying to do articles and videos because the guru told them and things like that. What we're doing is we're looking at how can I isolate, find exactly what they want, give it to them, and then point to the things that make us money. Template examples could be budget planning, spreadsheets for marketing campaigns, content calendar templates, email sequence, social media tracking spreadsheets, maybe budget trackers, maybe people who are cleaning their own pool, things like that. All kinds of stuff that you can do, maybe tracking electrical bill or tracking your finances or something like that can work really well. We had a gal on a couple weeks ago who was doing this in the budget market, and she was doing really, really well. Small audience. Was not a huge audience. She wasn't getting a huge number of people, but she was serving them really well. And that's what this is about, serving the market really well and starting with something that you know will provide value. That is the quickest jump start to building a business, because now I have something of value. Now, if I know it's good, I will go give it away. But we need to make sure it's good, because what you think is good and what the market thinks is good is two different things. Sometimes you'll come out with a video or an article and you're like, oh, this is the best. And it's like, okay, well, people aren't reading it and people aren't consuming it, so it must not be. Or maybe it's positioned the wrong way. Positioning is everything. Now, going through and looking at this also, another thing that I love to do is creating interactive tools and calculators. Creating a plugin, a tool, a calculator, some kind of generator, or maybe people can make different things. I'll never forget this. This was a market, and I learned this in a real world way from about 2006 till I think it was about 2010. And I was running this site and made a lot of money. Again, results not typical, implied, or guaranteed. Here's how much most people make, and it is zero. And I'm sure you guys have seen, hey, yeah, the vast majority do struggle. And I believe they struggle because they don't understand this stuff. And in 2006, I got into this market, and what I did is I had some text sites, and they were texting, not texting like phone, but text, blog article kind of stuff. And I had these websites, and they would link to affiliate offers, and I was doing pretty good. I started out as making like $300 a day, which was cool. It was all free traffic, so I was like, cool, I'm making $300 a day. I don't got to pay for traffic. This is pretty nice, right? Nice little chunk of change at the end of the month. And then I decided to get into paid traffic, and on paid traffic, I learned a lot about what made people click on what they wanted. And so we started to create little generators. There was like a word generator. They'd put their name in, and it would turn their name into like this glittery, fancy sign. And they could post the sign on their webpage or whatever it was. And so these little tools literally took us to, it was about 12x, 15x, whatever $4,000 a day would be on that. Again, will anyone on this call make $4,000 a day? The odds are probably not. Most people make nothing. In this market, I worked hard. I was spending probably around $1,200 to $2,000 a day in traffic. So there was a lot of risk there. Like if the company didn't pay me, I would have been out like $1,200 a day, which, ouch, good thing they paid me. Obviously, I ran a little bit of traffic, got the paycheck, ran a little more, got a bigger paycheck, and then once I knew it was on the up and up, I went through and did that. But going through and understanding this, I was able to scale that up because of the little tools. Were they hard to make? No. Like it took the programmer, they got me a programmer and told me he'd make me the little tool. And then once I learned, I was able to make them on my own. It's pretty easy. They didn't take long at all, but that value proposition, instead of, hi there, if you want to learn how to make your name glittery on your website, there are 10 ways to do it. First, people don't want that. They want to type their name in and see the glitter and copy and paste and put it up. That's what led to a lot of money. So starting to understand that these little tools, these simple little calculators, and now the playing field's leveled. With vibe coding, with all the stuff that is going on today, this is leveled. Anyone with computer access and a basic AI, some even free tools like DeepSeek or something like that, there's all kinds of ones out there. When we start to look at these, a lot of those will code. And if you know how to ask it what to make your audience that'll work, then there you go. Like you want to get traffic, obviously make sure you have the rights and everything, but you could go out there and you could list out the top 25 debt guys, right? Who talk about like how to pay off your debts or whatever. You could go out there and say, I made a calculator that basically has a drop down where it will adjust based on that guy's philosophy, right? So it's like Dave Ramsey, drop down, Dave Ramsey. Now the calculator is going to be here, okay? Very, very important. Max says, you think a checklist is lame and tools is better. I think for the right market, a checklist is wonderful. I think for the right market, tools are wonderful. It depends on what you're looking for. You have to look at that market first. There is no one thing works for everything. We need to look at what our market wants. But thinking about it this way, if you have the little drop down and it's like, okay, Dave Ramsey, and you put your debt in and it's like, boop, now it's going to do according to his school of thinking. And now we'll do Susie Orman, boop, now the calculator works with them. Obviously making sure you have the rights to it. But then I can go out there and be like, I made a calculator that does this, that, and the other. and the traffic will follow, because what we're doing is systematic stuff based on what people are already searching and what they're already doing. This is super, super, super important. When we think about content differently, and we think about it like a content creator, not so much like Mr. Beast or a big content creator. When we think about a niche content creator, we want to think about what works. If you're in the basketball market, let's say you have, and I picked the wrong one because I don't know a lot of basketball players, but let's say we're going through and we're doing basketball, and you have a course that you want to sell as an affiliate that is how to jump higher, right? So let's make the hoop. Here's our hoop. It looks like a toilet, but it's actually a hoop. And here's our basketball player, or we'll put a net there. That way it looks a little bit better. But we go through there, and the guy wants to jump higher. And you're like, okay, well, what if I take the top 100 guys? You got LeBron James, you got Shaq, you got Michael Jordan, you got whatever. And you're like, okay, well, I made a tool that is going to help you jump higher based on what these people do. Here are LeBron James' top jump higher tips. Here is Shaq's jump higher tip. He doesn't need to jump higher because he's already tall enough to reach, right? But you start to look at this and you're like, that is how you structure content. Most people are out there and they're thinking, okay, how to jump higher basketball. So if I do how to jump higher basketball, and I see we have 450 searches a month. Overall, there's about 6,300 searches a month, but it's probably pretty competitive. What if instead I went for different terms? I could do something like Michael, or let's do, I can't spell, but we'll try, LeBron James tips, or something like that, okay? Or LeBron James workout, or whatever it is. This was done popular with entrepreneurs. A lot of people were like, oh, I want to learn the morning routine of Elon Musk and this entrepreneur and everything like that, and really, really, really focus, right? How do we really focus on it and make something of value? Because at the end of the day, the guy wants to jump higher. That's what it's about. So if I can get that content in a different way, then it all lines up. This is where everything falls into place. You're like, okay, here's a video on the top 5 tips from LeBron James. And here's another one from Michael Jordan. Here's one from Shaquille O'Neal. Here's one from other basketball guy. What's going to happen is these are inadvertently going to help you build a guide. So you're like, now I have a guide or a checklist from all the people based on the top jumping tips. Pretty simple. Public information, obviously make sure you have the rights to it, but you can now take all of these, run them in AI, and make a big checklist or a tool or something that is going to help them. And what's going to happen? All of this content you made not only made your guide, but it's also going to get traffic to your guide, which is all about perpetuating your jump higher program or whatever it is. And you start to understand, oh, this is how marketing works. It's not about just going out there and making a big giant bloggy thing or whatever. We want to go out there and be very strategic. When we look at interactive calculators, mortgage calculator, BMI calculator, grade calculator, you could go through and you could talk about different BMIs of top athletes and things like that. Very important. Max says, if a market values a checklist and a tool for beginners, isn't more easier to do a checklist and get something out there faster? No, don't focus on getting it out there faster. Focus on getting it out there better. Affiliate marketers struggle because they're trying to get something out there faster, which has no value. And the internet knows. They're like, I know that's no value. I know that that's not going to work. Like if you go out there and you're like, okay, I'm going to be like Mr. Beast and I'm going to make a video. Okay, he takes like months to make some of his videos. So you're not going to slap something up and compete with that. The internet's going to know, like, hey, that's not up to quality. However, if you spend time thinking about what they want and you make it really good, there you go. Now, if you are in a hurry, start with the checklist, get some traffic to it, and then when your tool comes out, you'll be like, hey, check it out. I made a tool based on the checklist. Here you go. You'll have a built-in audience. This is what works. Like, a lot of you guys saw the Alex Hormozy launch, right? Why does that work? Why was he a bestseller? Well, one, he had people buy like a bazillion copies of the book. Okay, well, that does help. Like if everyone buys 200 copies of my book, it's going to be a lot easier to be a bestseller than if I do one. But other than that, why, before that, were his other books bestsellers? Because he talked about content in his market. It's what he did, right? You want to be a bestseller? Let's say you got a book and you want to go out there. And you're like, I want to be a bestseller. Talk about the other books in your market. Just go through and review them. I did this on my sobriety channel. I have a sobriety channel, and we talk about sobriety, and I got to move the set because I don't like the way it looks in here, so we're going to put it in the other room. That's my work for tomorrow. But at any rate, we have the sobriety channel, and I talk about different books. Here's what this person says about sobriety. Here's what this person. Here are my thoughts. Why does it work? I've been sober about 11 years. I've learned a lot of things. And so I could give my personal input on how things work. I have a unique way of looking at it because I have a unique upbringing, just like anyone else does. What you have can be unique. And so when you go out there and you're like, oh, I'm just going to talk about these books, what do you think's going to happen when you tell people you have a book? They're going to buy it, right? Hopefully. Obviously, it's not a guarantee, but if we have a good book and we sell it well, we should be able to do well. Now, looking at this with calculators and things like that, we can build these up. Very important. BMI, auto loan calculator, car loan calculator, all this stuff. And again, they get even more niche as they go along. And I'll have a list of these over at AIProfitScoop.com with the notes. If you guys don't know how our notes work, I have people standing by watching the videos just like you do. They make notes according to my specification. When the notes are out, we send them out to the list. So you can get this list there as well. Now, we can also do something like convert HTML to PDF or all these different things. Okay, very, very important. So looking at that, we can make all kinds of tools and they work well. Calculators provide personalized value and encouragement. They're particularly effective in capturing leads because the users input their own data. They're getting something they can interact with that's going to help them. Now, what I would say is when you have a calculator, if you're not going to make them opt in to use it, have little buttons that are interactive. This is where AI shines. Because we could go out there and we can make a calculator and say, hey, when someone gets 7%, make sure this thing pops up and tells them, go opt in here for the 7% guide, or whatever it is, right? Or tells them how to save money on their stuff. Okay, very, very cool, very important. Here's another fact. Interactive tools like Calculator have an average conversion rate of 40 to 60% compared to 5 to 15 for static content offers, according to a conversion study. Now, I don't know how true that is, but in terms of getting leads, if you pair it with something, think about a PLR article or a PLR book, right? I have a buddy who makes a fortune with PLR. He owns a PLR company. Nice guy, good guy, fantastic stuff. A lot of the PLR is like, oh, here's a budget guide. Here's a guide to painting your house. What if instead of just giving the guide away or selling the guide, what if you went through and had like a paint calculator or a budget calculator or a tracker or something of value that you can add? If you do that, you can instantly turn PLR stuff into a more valuable thing. Very, very cool. Some examples of high-value calculator ideas would be affiliate income calculator, ROI calculator, email list value calculator. This is a good one. A lot of people say, you know, the average list earns like $1 a month per subscriber or something like that. Obviously debatable. But going through and looking at that, we can make something of value. Maybe ours would be niche-based. Maybe we could base it on CPMs in popular markets we know, right? There are huge ones. There's one out there for like ad revenue calculator. And on revenue calculator, you got 68,000 people a month. The top one is FBA, which is fulfilled by Amazon revenue calculator. You have all different kinds of things. Imagine what would happen. You want to build a mailing list of people who want to make money online? start making these little calculators that calculate ad revenue, calculate Facebook revenue, calculate Amazon revenue. I mean, you're just going to have all these calculators. Years ago, I worked with a guy. His name was James, really cool guy. Haven't worked with him in years. I should probably figure out what he's doing. He's a fun guy to hang out with. And he had a tool that helped ClickBank users keep track of their data, because ClickBank back then wasn't as good at tracking as it is today. And I'll never forget it, because all he had was this tool, and he charged like $97 for the tool. It's pretty cool. And he had another one that found niches and stuff like that. And we did a webinar, and that webinar converted like crazy. Why? Because the people who used his tool were very specific to the other stuff, right? And it's like, okay, this is a built-in list of people who want what you have to offer. And this is strategic marketing. If you're struggling with affiliate marketing, this is where I have found success. This is where I go through and systematically start going through and focusing on exactly what's going on and looking at what I need. We need to be the king of Xing out distractions and getting what we want. Whatever goes on in my brain, I have a weird ability to be able to just extract data I want. When I listen to someone talking, I'm extracting the data I want. Sometimes it comes across like I'm rude because I'm just listening for the stuff that I know would help them. Like if you come to me and you say, here's how I want to build a business, I'm listening for those key things. That's what we need to do in our market and on our own. Someone was saying, I follow a handful of gurus. That's good. Follow the ones that have what you need. What is it specifically you need? Are you struggling to get traffic? Find someone who's good at getting traffic. Follow them. And listen to what they say about traffic that's actually going to work for you. Not vague stuff. The problem is, in life, we love vague. That's why, like, Gary Vee could be like, post more, and everyone claps. And it's like, well, yeah, post more. I mean, anyone can do that, but what am I going to post? I want the guru who's going to teach me what to post, and that's what this is about. This is the what. This is the nuts and bolts of how do we make something that people are actually going to want. Very important. Email list value calculator, ROI, social media engagement calculator. That's a good one, right? You could go through it. Like, I could make this today. I could go through and I could say, put in the top 10 last posts you had, put in the amount of likes and the amount of views, and this will calculate what your audience responds to best. That is a tool I could go out there and I can get people to look at today. They will want to use that tool. I guarantee it. It's something that the market wants. And that's how we need to think about our market. Another one would fall under assessment tools and quizzes. Interactive assessments, like the example of here's the top 10 posts, here's the top 10 emails I sent, here's this, here's the top things I ate and how I felt. Okay, maybe you can go through and it'll say, oh, bananas make you tired in the afternoon or whatever. And you start to understand that it's about the microscope you use to view into your market and understand at a specific level exactly what they want. And then you make a tool for them, and they will love your content because they're going to love the tool. And you're going to make it all based around that. Like the, jump higher example. They're going to love that content. Why? You went out there and did all the work they didn't want to do. You watched the interviews and figured out why Michael Jordan jumps high and why, this other guy jumps high. And you figured out exactly what's going on, and you did the work for them. Hint, we can use AI to do a lot of that work. Effective assessment ideas could be like, what's your affiliate marketing readiness score? Or like, what's your jump higher score? Which affiliate niche matches your personality? How optimized is your website for conversions? This is a good one. Years ago, and we're going to get into this in a minute, where we talk about adding that human element. Years ago, when I first started my business, we talked about this in yesterday's video, which was about Manus. If you didn't watch it, go watch it. It was one of the least performing videos, but I think it's the most important. Like that one there, that's got some good stuff in it for building a business. But what I did years ago is, instead of being everyone else, where I said, oh, hey, sign up and pay me money and I'll get you ranked on Google or whatever it was back then. We did SEO services. What I did is I said, put your name, email, and website in for a free SEO website audit. That was gold. People wanted that. They wanted it more than a guide. They wanted it more than a book. They wanted it more than buying my product. And when I gave them that personal response, the sales went through the roof. I mean, the conversion rate was better than anything I had ever done. It still works to this day. Like if I go out there and I do a promotion and I say $97 and you can get a 15-minute call with me, people sign up like crazy, and the upsell rate on that is unheard of. Why? Because you're taking your time to help someone out. And everyone wants this fast, quick, I just want to post 10 things on Instagram and be rich tomorrow. Okay, if you don't want to post that much, you need to really think about what you're going to post. It needs to get that audience, and it needs to work really, really well, right? There's a difference between like people on Instagram and other places that are posting 1 million times a day. Of course, that's tongue in cheek. But understanding, like, wait a minute, I need to focus on posting the right stuff. I need to focus on really getting in there. Okay, assessment structure. Maybe you could do 10 to 15 multiple choice questions. Again, having a questionnaire before will help them, right? Like take the SEO quiz. See if you'll be able to, get the audience or whatever. See if you'll be able to understand the SEO in the world of AI. Personalized results, scoring system, follow-up email. All of this can be done with AI. Again, if you did not watch yesterday's video on Manus and the automated lead generation system that I put in, or lead follow-up system I put in, definitely watch that. I think it's super, super important, okay? Next up, resource hubs and toolkits. This is a curated resource list collection. You're going to go through and make a toolkit that bundles and saves your audience time while positioning you as the valuable curator. Curated content makes a lot of money. It does really well. Again, disclaimer, it takes work, it takes effort. Vast majority of people make nothing. Now, when we go through and we look at the toolkit name, you have an affiliate starter kit. What if I put together some templates, checklists, resources, mini courses? How many of you guys would like that? A lot of people would like that. Next up, we can go through, like Todd says, he built a side hustle calculator. Excellent. I love it. That's great. You could calculate how it works. Target audience would be beginners. Value proposition is everything you need to start affiliate marketing. I did this years ago before I even realized what I was doing. We literally had like a blog plugin, a theme, and some stuff to help them get started. Right? It worked really well. We evolved it into the Blog Profit Network plugin, which I think you could see the sign back there somewhere that says the Blog Profit Network. There it is right there by Patrick. And you can see that's something that we've built up really, really well. You can do a content creators toolkit, content calendar, caption templates, hashtag lists, content creators is target audience, streamlined content creation process, email marketing bundle. Maybe you can give them a bunch of email templates or whatever. I'll never forget, years ago, I paid like a crazy amount just to get a list of this guy's emails he sent that did well. Why? Because, hey, if I could use those, it'll work really well, which is great. This is good for email marketers, and the value is professional email campaigns made easy. SEO optimization pack. And again, remember, AI has made this easier. While everyone is out there trying to make articles and faceless videos that have no value, we are going to make things that have a direct value proposition. What can I do? Like, what's going to be valuable to people who want to, like, stop eating cake or soda or something? Well, maybe I can have an app that they go through and it's like, what time of day do you have soda? All right, boom, this is going to pop up and tell you not to have soda. A little reminder or something like that. Starting to understand that we can use technology, including AI, in a way that helps people, and we can really, really drill down into what they want. Another fact is bundled resources typically have a 35% higher perceived value than individual resources offered separately. This is why, at the end of the webinar, I don't like doing this because I like giving honest, fair, upfront stuff. But a lot of people on webinars will be like, hey, this 1 hour with me is $10,000, and this would be $5,000, and this is a $30,000 value, yours today for only $10. I like to keep my stuff real and only quote what it's actually for sale on and what I've sold it for. Like, obviously, I'm not going to say it's $10,000 to spend 1 minute in my presence if nobody has ever paid $10,000 and it's not a consistent thing. But that's why that works. It's called the bonus stack. You're making a stack of things that you're adding on. One of the bonuses that a lot of people miss, and this is something that happens with affiliate marketing, right? Looking at affiliate marketing, and Todd, thanks for that. He says, I'm a lifelong student of Marcus. After the last year, hands down, I've learned 100-fold from Marcus in 1 year than 5 years of junk guru courses. Well, thanks for that, Todd. I appreciate that. But when doing bonuses, a lot of people, they add bonuses that don't matter. I'll never forget it. Years ago, we were doing an affiliate competition, and I was excited because there were gurus that I followed that were on the list of winners of this competition, and I was right there up there with them. I was like, wait a minute, me? I'm just a nobody. How am I on this list? But the way that I got on that list, it was a CPA affiliate big course with software and stuff like that. It was like a $3,000 thing, and there was all this software and things like that. And what I did is I said, hey, I'm a CPA affiliate marketer. I've made money in the niche. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the course with you, and I'm going to help you with it. What did that do? That made them say, well, if this guy isn't going to help me, Marcus will. That is a value proposition nobody can touch, and barely anyone does. You want to sell courses, you want to sell software, you want to sell tools, or a book or a guide or whatever, say, hey, you know what? I'll hop on a webinar with everyone who buys this through my link, and I'll help you guys understand it. I mean, that's one of the easiest ways to go out there, and all you have to do is understand it. And then what do? You make guides about it and all that stuff. This is where you get into like software and tool recommendations, curated lists of tools with affiliate links. You see these all the time on Facebook. Here's all the top 5 sites you need if you want to, build a business or whatever. You can do tool categories, anything. Like, what are the top accounting tools? What are the top tools for AI? What are the top tools for this, that, and the other? Starting to understand how this works is absolutely key. And when you get it, you just put it all together. And again, I know I'm giving you a lot. We will have the notes available at AIProfitScoop.com. Next up, custom evaluations and audits. This is big. Why? Because as an affiliate marketer, it doesn't matter what I sell. Like, that's why a lot of people who sell things that are, like, not that great, I'm like, why? You could sell anything. Why don't you sell something fantastic that helps the customer, and then they'll come back and buy more stuff from you. That's why I have people on my mailing list that have been buying stuff from me for, gosh, I don't know, from 2008, I think, is when I started teaching. 8 years after I started my business, I started teaching, and they still buy today. Why? Because they know I help them out. I give them good stuff. I vet the products that I promote. I'm not just going to promote anything because someone's going to hand me a check. I'm going to promote stuff that's going to help. And sometimes, yes, that's a pay cut. But I'm not going to lose my reputation by selling something junky. And at the end of the day, I feel good about what I promote. That's my own personal way of doing business. But according to Authority Hacker, personalized website audits have a 20 to 40% conversion rate to a paid services. What if you evaluated people's AI content? If you're like, hey, I'll evaluate it before you put it up. We'll go through this checklist. There you go. You start with a content checklist. Watch this. That's how you do it, right? You're like, okay, content checklist. I'll never forget it. Brandwell, which was known as, what were they called? Content at Scale years ago. One of their biggest drivers to building their business was having a AI content detector on their website. It drove tons of traffic. People were like, oh my gosh, this is AI. And they were like, oh, you want non-AI content? Click here to buy our thing. Content marketing strategy checklist, 200 visitors a month. I think I'm going to make that one. So if any of my workers are on this call, make a little note. We'll make a little content strategy checklist. That'll be great to promote my content business. And you can go out there and make that very quickly with AI. We teach this in AI Profit Scoop all the time. Over at AIProfitScoop.com, we walked through just yesterday. We had a great training on the future of AI automation. It's fantastic. It's probably the best course for the low price there is. And I have it low because I want everyone to join and get the info. And then if you want to work with me on a personal basis, then you can get some bigger stuff. But at least get in there and figure out, hey, this guy got the goods. We know what we're talking about. This is the future of AI. And starting to understand, you can do audit types like a website audit, SEO audit, content audit. You want to sell content, like do an audit. Hey, put your thing in there. I'll read your content, and boom, there we go. Social media audit. You can audit their, like I have a buddy in the YouTube niche, and one of his biggest drivers of getting people in is when he does channel audits. And he's like, oh, I'll look at the channel, see where you can improve, see how you can do better. A buddy of mine, he has a big YouTube course, and he went out there and he's like, oh, he had a booth at his trade show, and it was like, come over here and get a free channel audit. They do the audit, and then they sign you up for a big course. Why? Because the people need it, right? It's like when I went to the gym to sign up a year ago or so, they had a thing, and they're like, oh, what do you eat? What are your goals? How much do you want to lose? Do you want bigger arms, bigger muscles? What do you want? And they went through and did a little audit, and I signed up. And over the year, I signed up. My wife went there. My kid went there. It was like $30,000 we were paying for personal training. Why? Because they had a good audit, and they did the good stuff. But now my new gym coach gets me better results. So that's good. I feel like I'm feeling better there. But at any rate, we go through and we look at those audits that work really well. Audit delivery format, you can do a video walkthrough. Personalized videos are insanely powerful. I don't have time to do it, but now with AI, it's getting easier. Written report with specific recommendations, you could do via email, action item checklist, or a follow-up consultation offer, or even a call. You can even get on a call with them, fire up Zoom. You could use your voice or an AI voice if you're that picky about it. You don't need to be on camera. When I do my calls with clients, I never turn on the camera because that would mean I would have to switch all this stuff around, which is a lot of work. And I don't feel the need to be, on camera. But at any rate, looking at that, custom recommendations, you could do personalized product recommendations based on individual needs. What if you did there you go, watch this. You go out there and you're like, okay, a sleep audit. Sleep audit. Let's see, sleep audit or sleep quiz, maybe? Sleep quiz. So you got a lot of people looking for stuff like that, and you can figure out, okay, based on that, maybe there's a certain mattress or a certain thing they can get to help them. Starting to understand that's value to the fifth power, right? We're going through and we're taking value where most people are like, oh, here's my list of favorite mattresses. No, you're having trouble with X, Y, and Z. Here's what you want. This is where you can stack it. Make a little tool that'll help them. And say, oh, you want a personalized audit? Go here. Or something. Starting to understand exactly how this works is key. Implementation, you can intake form with the detailed questions about the goals, budget, experience level, custom analysis of their specific situation, tailored recommendations with explanations like, oh, hey, if you're a side sleeper and you go to bed at this time, maybe, turn off the screens an hour before bed or something like that, and make sure you have this pillow or this app that plays music or whatever it is. Implementation roadmap, follow-up support, and check-ins. Let me give you a little tip. One of the things that I did, and this is based on the idea of listening to stuff while you sleep. I've taught myself a lot of things by listening to stuff before I fall asleep. When I got sober years ago, I started listening to things every night. Every night, I fall asleep with an earbud so that I can listen to different talks. And there's a list of people I listen to, and all the times on my sober channel, a lot of people are like, hey, can I get the list of things you listen to? Because I'd like to listen to them too. That's more valuable than a report about listening to stuff, right? Does that make sense to everyone? How it's like, okay, you can write a 10,000 word article about why listening to things helps you, and I can give you 3 authors that helped me. My 3 authors, which is literally like 12 words, is going to outperform the 10,000 word article because it's quick, easy, specific to what they want. And this is stuff where it starts to go through and you start to understand, oh, this is how you look at the market in a different way. Looking at bonus materials and exclusive content. Can you do an exclusive content or bonus for an affiliate promotion? I did this years ago. One I did for back before AI got really popular, there was a voice generator software. And I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. I had a webinar about it, and I said, hey, if you guys buy this, I will help you use it. That increased conversions like crazy. We made a great amount of money on that webinar. Now, full disclosure, I used my mailing list to promote that offer. It wasn't like I woke up and said, here's a bonus out into the air where no one was and people bought. No, I had to build an audience. That's what this is about. Your value will build that audience, whether you're a personality or not, whether you use an AI personality or not. Starting to understand that I can build this and create value in a specific way. You look at channels out there that talk about like philosophy. What if I did philosophy for people that are looking at sobriety, right? It works really well. And you start to understand, hey, I can add those values. Now, when you're doing a bonus based on the offer, make sure the affiliate offer allows it. Some affiliate offers are like, no, that would be considered incentivized. Usually incentivized is if it's monetary, like a gift card or this or that. That would usually be different. But what we're doing is like, oh, you're getting time or a book or a video or whatever it is. Very, very important. Paul says, I've just joined Perplexity Pro, and would this be a good tool for research and build a calculator? For research, Perplexity is fantastic. What I'm going to get you guys in the habit of, if you want to make money online with AI, learn to use multiple tools simultaneously. Like when I was making these notes, I used Gemini, I used Manus, and I used, I think I used DeepSeek for some stuff as well. But starting to understand, and this is what we teach in AI Profit Scoop, is like you're going to use different tools for different things, which is going to make you get a different output than anyone else has. Because if everyone's going to the same thing and given the same thing, it's going to just lead to everyone has the same content. We want something specific and different. We want to edge it based on what we're doing. Take it and say, okay, how does this apply to this? How does this apply to that? Who is the perfect person I want? Now, when making bonuses, again, obviously make sure the affiliate offer allows it and make sure yours is good. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. Like when I did that, the top leaderboard for the CPA affiliate offer, I didn't have a ton of traffic to it. I think we sent like 2,000 clicks to it. I made a ton of money on it. I was blown away with how much I made on it. I was sitting there at lunch and I looked at it and I was like, holy cow, yeah, that's like what some people make in a year. And it was while I was at lunch. I was like, that's pretty crazy. But at any rate, again, results not typical, implied, or guaranteed. That was based on a list. That was based on a big audience, an audience I built before I even started doing a lot of videos and stuff. So this is something I've been doing a long time. This is something that you build and grow. But when I did that, my bonus of, hey, and what I did was I just put them on my weekly calls I had anyway. I was like, hey, if you guys buy this, I'll give you a year worth of weekly calls. I'll help you go through the product. So I was doing the calls anyway, but because I had that personal element, there were people that were like, I'm going to give you this software and this ebook and that book, and I'm going to give you the whole world. And mine was like, hey, you could just, I'll help you out with the product. Mine won because it was about the product. That's key. If you're an affiliate marketer and you're not testing the products you're selling, I mean, it puts you at a disadvantage, but there are some times you would do that. There are times I've sold things that I myself did not try. Scooters and different drop shipping things. But I would, in hindsight, I would say, try the product. One, make sure it's ethical, make sure the product buying process is good, stuff like that. Very important. Deborah says, how do you know what people are searching for? Get a tool like Ahrefs. You could go to Google Trends. You can ask AI. Google Trends is probably the best free place to get that data. Or if you have a Google AdWords account, you can use the AdWords tool. There's other keyword tools as well. Just Google keyword tool and you'll find them and you can see what people are searching for. Some are better than others, but I mean, use what you got at the time and grow from there. Some bonus ideas, exclusive training modules, complementing. This keyword complementing is the key. I see a lot of affiliates do bonuses that don't complement the offer, and it's just noise. It's noise. Do some people want it? Sure, but they're going to buy anyway. If I'm going to go out there and I want it to work, I need something that complements whatever that main product is, right? If I'm selling a gas-powered scooter and I have a seat, okay, hey, you're going to get this free seat so you don't even have to stand anymore, or whatever it is, right? Obviously, think about what would help. Very important. And think about what would give a better value proposition. Like for a lot of people who bought that course, working with me for a year was better than buying the course. So they're like, can I just pay for your bonus? Sure, right? Private community access for buyers only, one-on-one consultation calls, custom templates and worksheets, extended warranties and guarantees. We have a student who is a tax accountant, and he helps people with tax debt and things like that. And I had told him, I'm like, hey, make a tool. He's like, oh, I'm going to make some content. I'm like, make a tool. Just trust me, make a tool. And they made the tool, and I said, now promote it this way. And he did, and he was shocked because I believe it was the same day he got a client, and the client it was not a cheap order. It was a good one, and he's gotten them pretty regularly ever since. Now, again, you got to look at this as a business. He has a business already set up. That's how it worked. But when we look at the age of AI and the internet the way it is now, when I first started, we couldn't get traffic instantly. It was difficult, right? Like unless you owned Yahoo, you couldn't get traffic instantly. Today, you can. You can literally get traffic now if you want to. And if you understand how to do that and you understand the way value works, you're looking at it like a marketer and a promoter rather than just an avid internet user. And that's what we want to do. And we want to think about like, oh, hey, all of these people are promoting this thing, and there's going to be a lot of hype around this thing. Like when the iPhone 800 comes out or whatever they're on now, or the Google Pixel or whatever, right? A new phone comes out. Could you be an affiliate and provide a bonus for people that get that? The traffic's already going to be there on that day. If I can provide something good, this is what people do. You look at YouTube and you're like, wow, how did that video get 1 million views? Well, he talked about the iPhone on the day it came out. Everyone wanted to see it, right? Timing is important. You can offer behind-the-scenes content, access to the process, the strategy, AI prompts, right? If you're selling an AI, maybe you're doing like an AI tool. Can you sell the prompts that you use or give them away when they buy it? Content ideas, monthly income reports with strategy breakdowns, live strategy sessions and Q&As, private podcast episodes with industry insights, early access to new content and tools, direct communication through private groups or email. Now, when you go through and measure your success and ROI, this image got gigantic, so we'll just zoom out for a minute. But when you're looking at this, you want to look at the metrics of your conversion rate, how many people that go to your page put their name and email in, how many people that see your ad click on it, email open rate, click-through rate, revenue per lead, cost per lead. Very important. What does it cost to acquire a lead? Now, looking at this, what you're going to see is the impact of value add resources on conversion rates goes up exponentially. The better you do, the more it's going to work and the more unique you're going to be. In an age of AI, everyone wants to use AI. No one wants to sit there and email or do phone calls or anything like that. All right, if I want to make money, then I will do what it takes. And sometimes that is what will help you is by having that. Back when I first started my business, I needed to make money. Like I had to. And that was it. Like I was like, okay, I got a baby on the way. And my girlfriend at the time was like, I don't want to work. And I'm like, okay, well, I better figure this stuff out. What did I do? I sent out emails and I was like, hey, I'll do a free website audit if you call me. Phone ring, call, get sales. And I remember we had like a little table. We called it the money table because we'd go and we'd ring up the order when we got it. There's a money table back before we had like the automated stuff. This is stuff where it works. And in an age of AI, it's going to be even better. How many of you guys are tired of like you call and you're on hold 500 hours with this AI that doesn't even understand what you want, and then at the end it hangs up and you're like, well, that was a waste of time. How much more would you like an actual person? Right? You start to think of that and you're like, wait a minute. You telling me in an age of AI I could just be the person? Yeah. You find a way to help people with something they're struggling with, and you find a way to get paid while you're doing it. Affiliate marketing or a joint venture or something like that. Very, very strategic. And if you look at that, that's where you get in there, and that's where it starts to grow. Because where your conversion rate, if you're just making a blog and hoping people click and buy, okay, it'll work sometimes. Most people, it doesn't work. I think the average blog makes like a penny a millennium. But starting to look at it and say, well, why does this one work? Because we have these other elements that are providing the value. Optimization strategies, we're going to do continuous improvement to process. Let me strike that, reverse it. Continuous improvement process to maximize the effectiveness of your value add resources. A/B test, survey users, ask them what they want. I did this, like if you didn't watch yesterday's video, go watch it after this one. I don't know if the link's in the description, but you could go and you could see it. What I did is I just sent out an email and I'm like, hey, test out my new AI tool and we're gonna have it find a domain name. I have like a bazillion domain names. And I'm like, my clients would probably like those as websites. So what if I got the info, actually read it? So it goes to the AI, I read what the AI says, I put my own input, I take 5 minutes, and I can sell something that's, $500, $1,000, $2,000 based on what the customer wants. And there you go, that is how it works. Or if you're going out there and you say, oh, you want a new customer relationship management software. Those companies pay a fortune for affiliates. Or you want a new web host. Okay, well, why do you want the host? How much traffic do you get? What kind of content do you run? What kind of software do you run? Good. I'll get back to you in 10 minutes with the best host for you. Hosting companies pay like anywhere from $60 to like hundreds per sign up. And you start to look at that, and I know because I've made well over $500,000 on affiliate commissions for hosting. That's just on the newest ones we've been using. Before that, I mean, I've been selling hosting since 2000, I think was my first hosting sale. I got $10 for it. I was really, really proud. I was like, yeah, $10. Now, we get a lot more than that. But you start to realize, how does it work? And how did that work? What did I do? How did I get my $10? I said, I will set up your host for you with a website template. Took me literally 3 seconds. I uploaded it. Here you go. And they were like, wow, that's the greatest thing ever. And I was like, cool, $10. And I did it a bunch of times. I got a bunch of $10. And you start to realize that implementing that extra thing is key. And some of it, if you don't want to do it yourself, you can outsource this. I mean, game changer. Or you could use AI. Like we have a hybrid Manus right now. If I log into my Manus, I'll do it on a different screen because the AIs are funny about what they see here. But yeah, we got one right now. So one just came in a couple of minutes ago. Someone wanting a domain, and Manus is out there. It's looking at it. It's like, okay, here's the domains. They want an AI domain. It found a bunch of them in the range of like 200 to like $3,000. So there you go, which is really cool. Implementation. How do we implement all that we've learned? And then I'm going to get you to this concept that you've been waiting for the entire time, which is mighty oaks from little acorns grow. Sounds like a Laurel and Hardy quote. I think they did actually say that at some point. If you're old enough to remember Laurel and Hardy, they were great. Comedy gold right there. But at any rate, quick start action plan. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to choose 2 to 3 simple tools to create. A calculator, a checklist, a PDF guide, something that your market would want. You're going to create it. You're going to build it based on what your market wants and how you can implement what your market wants. Then you're going to set up a lead capture system, email marketing. You could use something like Aweber, ConvertKit, any of these things. Okay, set it up so you can get leads. Create a basic landing page for each resource. So 3 pages, 3 resources. Here, get the calculator, put your name and email. Get the checklist, name and email. Boom, there we go. Next, you're going to create your first calculator using simple tools. You can use, this says Google and Typeform. I don't know much about those. I'm probably going to use Gemini. I love Gemini for vibe coding. It is awesome. Great stuff. Design professional looking PDF. Make a good PDF in Canva. I would say just skip to Canva. Adobe, if you know how to use it. But Canva's good. You can even use Word, or you can even have something like Manus do it. Or I think Gemini can probably make a PDF too, if you ask it nicely. Write compelling copy for landing pages. Use AI. If you're not a good copywriter, I remember 2001, I sat down to write my first sales letter. Man, was that a pain. It's like, how am I going to write this? I'm not a writer. I don't know how to do this. But I wrote it, and it worked. It worked pretty well. That offer did extremely well. And speaking about bonuses, I will never forget, I had created this disc back with floppy disks. If you can't read the notes, I will have them available at aiprofitscoop.com after this is done. Years ago, I had this disc that I made. It was a disc for people who were selling these vitamins and supplements, and a lot of people were buying them. Or a lot of people were selling these supplements, and they were distributors of them. And so I made the disc. And what happened was I had this disc, and I was selling it to people for $250 to $500 each, depending on how complicated it was, which was really cool. And then I went through, and I was selling the disc, and then all of a sudden, there was this guy who, it was a network marketing company and had a big downline. And he's like, hey, if you teach my downline how to get more sales, you can promote that. And I'm like, do you want to cut? He's like, no, I just want my downline to sell more stuff. So we hopped on a teleseminar. There's like 200 people on a teleseminar back before webinars. And I sold the disc. It was my first biggest day. I was like 23. And I think we sold just shy of $7,000 worth in like 2 hours. Now, again, results not typical, applied or guaranteed. I had a disc. He had an audience. Without a disc and an audience, it wouldn't have worked. But understanding it was the value of having the tool. And the tool took me a while. I went to the scanner and scanned the whole catalog, put all the links in so they can sell stuff, and bada bing, bada boom, it worked really well. And when you start to understand exactly how this works and how the value proposition works, now we're going out there. What did I do? I followed this plan. I made a simple tool. I got an audience. I made giveaway. What was the giveaway? The giveaway was my teleseminar teaching them how to sell their stuff, teaching them how to do SEO and stuff like that. Very important. Then we're going to go through and we're going to launch the resources with email sequences, promote across social media, like getting social media traffic. If you're struggling, it's because you're not posting stuff that helps the next step. It's like a game of chess. I'm not good at chess. I don't think I've ever played a full game of chess. But as I understand it, it's like pool. You're setting up. You're thinking a couple moves ahead. Most people posting on social media, they're thinking 1 second ahead. They're like, people don't like it. Well, then they just don't like it. Not at all. We have to look at it, and we have to understand what's going on. Kathleen says, what do you use to compile the tools into an EXE? I'm not usually going to do that. Reason is because EXE, I don't believe it works on Mac. And EXE files do get flagged a lot. Even if they're safe, they'll get flagged by a lot of softwares if they're not popular. So EXE is not the best format. I would say make it something else, non-installable, non-threatening. That's going to get you a better route. Okay? But if you do want to do that, there's a tool called HTML EXE. All right, next up, we're going to track conversion rates and iterate and improve based on results. Now, what is this concept of mighty oaks from little acorns grow? You guys have stood here. How many of you guys have been here since the beginning? Type, he's still here or something like that, right? If you've been here since the beginning, congratulate yourself, because all of this is coming into one thing, and this one thing will help you get results in a straightforward way, which is going to help you work faster. This is why you guys got to watch my videos beginning to end, because there's always all this stuff that is going to build, and then you're going to get the payoff, which is, okay, here's how it works. So if you've been here since the beginning, thanks for that. If you have not, watch this again from the beginning. It'll make sense. Mighty oaks from little acorns grow. What does this mean? This means you could literally start with a tool that you know people search for. So like if I go out there and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I just want to make money with affiliate marketing. That's what everyone says. Marcus, how do I make money with affiliate marketing? Well, there's 9,000 different ways. I don't know what you're doing. Pick a niche, go. If you want to start, pick a tool. This is a list of tools based on the most popular ones. One of the ones I liked was this timer here. I was like, okay, that's an interesting timer that helps people, which is really cool. Okay, we will have these notes available. It's hard to zoom in because then some of the other stuff gets messed up. But looking at this, what we're looking for is a tool we can make. You can reverse engineer this by saying, okay, Pomodoro timer, whatever that is. All right, let's look up what that is. I looked it up earlier. Pomodoro timer. It's a certain type of timer that it's a customizable timer. based on a technique to break work into little intervals. Okay, so what does it do? It's a timer that helps people break things into little intervals. It ain't gonna be hard to make. I'm sure we can make a timer that would help them. It'd be like, okay, writing content, 15 minutes, sending an email, 5 minutes, doing this, 4 minutes, and it'll break it down, okay? Now, the idea is, with that type of timer, people are doing specific things, okay? It's based on a technique, it's based on an idea. If I make a timer like this, and I promote it well, and I build a list, now I have a list of people who want to be more productive. Now I can sell productivity stuff. How many of you guys are seeing this and you're like, oh, so I could just start with something and build and grow and build and grow and build and grow. I just need to focus on doing that really, really well. And using AI, it can make these tools and make it work. Fact, according to a case study by Affiliate Summit, affiliates who follow a structured implementation plan are 4 times more likely to achieve consistent results within their first 90 days. What do? We focus. We keep going. We keep going. And we keep going, and we don't look back. We say, I'm going to build this because I know it's of value, and I know people are looking for it, and I'm going to go out there and promote it. Some tools you can use for creating value-added resources. I like Gemini. I like Manus AI. It's quickly becoming one of my favorites. I like ChatGPT. I like all of these things. Some other tools you can see on the screen there. Now, for building long-term value, we want to create simple value-add tools because it's the most effective ways to build trust, capture leads, and demonstrate expertise and get traffic. If you have a good tool, just show 100 different ways to use it. You'll get traffic. Here's how to use the Pomodoro timer for cooks. Here's how to use it for people who are lifting weights. Here's how to use it for people who want to stay on track when they're doing affiliate marketing or whatever it is. And you start to understand it. Kathleen says, I want to give the tool away to the user. How can I package it best to run? Depends on what the tool is. You got to look at like, okay, what kind of tool am I doing? If it's a timer, okay, maybe we would want some different format than if it was a calculator. I would start by make the tool first and then think about the packaging. But get started making it and start on understanding your market. If you spend more time understanding your market, you're going to have a lot easier time getting traffic and selling. Okay? Start small, focus specific. Base your decisions on feedback. Connect to recommendations. Listen to your audience. Track and measure. Final thought, the best tools are those that provide immediate, actionable value while naturally leading to your affiliate recommendations. Naturally. You don't want it to be a stretch. You don't want to be like, thanks for using my mortgage calculator. By the way, are you in the market for an airplane? No. They're in the market for a mortgage, so get them over to that. And make it natural. Bing! You're at 7% right now. The rates are 6%. Click here to refi. Very simple. Okay, very, very, very simple. So we want to understand that. And again, Kathleen, with yours, you want to look at what you're, like if it's HTML, I mean, try it as a website. Give it away as a website. Make a little login, and you can, give people logins to it or whatever. However you're doing it. Again, I don't know your project, but it would be very important to look at your project and see what you want to do. The best tools are those that provide immediate actionable value while naturally leading to your affiliate recommendations. Start with one simple tool, perfect it, then expand based on your audience feedback and results. What's going to happen is you're going to go out there and you'll be like, oh, now I got this Pomodoro timer. Now I got this thing to help people stop procrastination. Now I got this book I can promote. Now I got this here, this here, this here, this here. And all of it is in the same niche of time management, which is going to drive traffic for time management. No, you sell time management stuff. Very simple. It's like if you were, a self-help talk person, and you're like, okay, how to struggle with procrastination, self-worth, envy, whatever else you got, right? Jealousy, motivation. And you have all these, and it's promoting the self-help. All of these things will promote this, right? You go out there, you want to think about how to do it. A lot of people are looking at self-help stuff. You go and you look at affirmations. Affirmations, boom. Affirmations gets about 170,000 searches a month. What if you made a little custom affirmation tool? It's like, put this thing in, put in what you want, It'll find quotes for you. Boom, there you go. I can literally make that with AI in the next 10 minutes, right? It's not hard to do, okay? Then I would strategically promote it, okay? How would I promote it? Well, I'd post a bunch of affirmations everywhere and then say, hey, this was generated with this. You just go there and generate it. And you're like, okay, here's a video. Let's see how it does. I'm going to generate an affirmation about positive thinking. Okay, what does it say? And then you just go. It's like, there you go. And you start to look at things differently. Very, very important. Okay, and you start to look at that and you start to understand this is a business. It grows like a business. That's why when people are like, you're going to make this overnight. They don't know. They have no idea. No one knows what you're going to do. But I do know where people are. And I do know that markets buy things. And I do know that I can get in front of them. As long as those fit, I'm good to go. And if you start to understand this is how marketing works, this is how you build and grow, then smash that like button, get the notes at aiprofitscoop.com, including a checklist of how to build all this stuff and some other cool things that will help you with it. And thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next training. Make sure you watch yesterday's video after you get your notes. Have a good one, guys.